Lower your cost and lower the deficit. 17 Nobel laureates in economics said my plan will ease long-term inflationary pressures. Top business leaders, and I believe most Americans support the plan. And here's the plan. First, cut the cost of prescription drugs. We pay more for the same drug produced by the same company in America than any other country in the world.
Okay, hello, Hero. Joe Smith here. Had the State Union address and just wanted to make a few comments here. Joe Biden, believe it or not, is absolutely right there that America does pay more for the same drug than anyone else in the country. Or not anyone in the country, but anyone else in the world. Any other countries in the world, for that matter. He's absolutely 100% right there. And that's why Trump, before he left office, passed an executive order that the Democrats whined over to where he passed the law, passed the executive order, or made an executive order, whatever you want to call it, Trump did, to where America would no longer pay more for the same drug than anyone else in the world. So, unless the Democrats have since repealed that, that's already dealt with. That's already taken care of. Trump did that for you. So don't know what Joe Biden's talking about. But he was right. Prior to Trump making that executive order, America was paying more for the same drug than any other countries in the world. It's called subsidizing. America, since most of these drugs were made in America by American companies, America was paying more for the drugs, Americans were, mostly through Obamacare and federal government subsidies to help subsidize the research and development and production, whatever, of these pharmaceuticals for the rest of the world. Basically, America was doing for the rest of the world when it came to pharmaceuticals what the Democrats want to do for stupid people when it comes to college. And what they want to do for healthcare. They want other Americans to pay more in taxes to subsidize healthcare and college. Even though he's speaking out over us paying more for pharmaceuticals to subsidize pharmaceuticals for poorer countries in the world. They want the rich to pay more for healthcare and college in America, so that way the poor don't have to pay for it, but now they're complaining that us rich Americans are paying more for pharmaceuticals to subsidize them for poor people in other countries. And yeah, Joe Smith here is against subsidizing other countries and even subsidizing other people here in America. But like Joe Smith here said, he's talking about a mute issue here that Trump already passed an executive order back late September, October-ish, 2020, Trump passed this executive order to where America would no longer pay higher prices, where they would pay the same price as the highest paying country in the world. Basically, would not pay any more than any other country in the world would pay for them. So, thank you, Trump, for dealing with this. Don't know why Biden's already talking about it. He's going to go on and talk about insulin here.
1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. In Virginia, I met a 13-year-old boy, the handsome young man standing up there, Joshua Davis. He and his dad both have type 1 diabetes, which means they need insulin every single day. Insulin costs about $10 a vial to make. That's what it costs the pharmaceutical company. But drug companies charge families like Joshua and his dad up to 30 times that amount. I spoke with Joshua's mom.
And yes, this was another thing in Trump's executive order the fall of 2020. He cut the prices of insulin. He regulated the price of insulin. So unless Democrats and Joe Biden has reversed that executive order, since Trump is no longer in office, this has already been dealt with by Trump and solved by Trump. So what did Biden and Democrats do? Reverse Trump's executive order just so they can whine about how this is a freaking problem now? After Trump solved it 2 years ago?
Set the price for VA drugs. Look, the American Rescue Plan is helping millions of families with Affordable Care Act plans to save them $2,400 a year on their health premiums. Let's close the coverage gap and make these savings permanent. And second, let's cut energy costs for families, an average of $500 a year by combating climate change. Let's provide an investment tax credits to weatherize your home and your business, to be energy efficient and get it.
Pretty sure when homes and businesses were built, they were built with insulation and weather stripping and weatherized. How much more can you weatherize them? Other than tear them down and build them with thicker walls, you're going to start, he talked about wanting cheaper housing in here. It's like you want to replace all 2x4 exterior construction with 2x6 or 2x8 exterior construction so you can do R19 insulation in the 2x6 exterior walls, or go even higher in 2x8 exterior walls or something. Because if you do that, that's only going to increase the cost of housing. It's not going to reduce the cost of housing. So it's like, what more can you do? Do like 5 pane windows, 6 pane windows or something? Pretty sure just adding a little caulk around your windows and doors ain't going to save you $500 a year on energy costs. So, not quite sure what Biden's talking about here and how he's going to accomplish this.
And solar, wind, and so much more. Lower the price of electric vehicles, saving another $80 a month that you're not going to have to pay at the pump.
Yeah, you're not going to have to pay it at the pump. You're just going to pay it on your electric bill at home. Which that electricity is most likely generated by natural gas or coal burning. Some nuclear, some hydroelectric, a little bit of wind. But yeah, let's lower the price of electric vehicles. Brand new 2022 Ford Maverick pickup truck, base model is $20,000 a year. So how are you going to get electric vehicles less than $20,000 a year when the batteries for them alone is like $20,000? Or not $20,000 a year for the price of the truck, sorry. But yeah, how are you going to get electric vehicle less than $20,000 when you go buy a brand new Ford Maverick pickup truck for $20,000 when the batteries alone are like 20 grand? You're already raping black countries in Africa dry. They're being born with birth defects and living in poverty and having all sorts of diseases from environmental contamination from the mining of cobalt and lithium to make batteries for electric vehicles and materials for solar panels. Are you going to get electric vehicle production less? You're going to ban unions and make electric vehicle automakers work for minimum wage or less than minimum wage? You're going to ban the minimum wage? Tell them they got to work for $5 an hour or $2 an hour? And live in a company-owned home and shop at the company-owned store? Just so you can get the cost of a Tesla to be less than a Ford Maverick? And then you're going to cut like electric rates or something, so that way, instead of paying $80 a month at the pump, you're not paying like $80 a month on your extra on your electric bill.
Folks, the third thing we can do to change the standard of living for hardworking folks is cut the cost of child care.
Yes, let's cut the cost of child care. Let's make child care employees work for less than minimum wage too. Let's allow child care employees to take care of more kids per employee. Because right now there's a lot of regulations. Growing up in Iowa, Joe Smith's mom was a child care provider, had a child care business, a daycare center. Joe Smith grew up helping take care of babies and little kids for like several years. There's like government regulations to where child care centers, providers can only handle so many kids per person. There's like a limit. Forget what it is, if like 5 kids per person, something like that. It may vary state to state too. So what, are you going to cut the cost of child care by saying it's like, oh, you only need 1 employee per 30 kids? Or are you going to cut wages for those child care employees to reduce the cost of child care? Instead of paying them a living wage and health care and retirement and life insurance and other benefits, you're going to make them work without benefits and for less than minimum wage just so you can cut the cost of child care? Or how are you going to cut the cost of child care? Oh yeah, that's right, through government subsidies, like what we've been doing with pharmaceuticals for the rest of the world for the last however many goddamn years.
Cut the cost of child care. Folks, if you live in a major city in America, you pay up to $14,000 a year for child care per child. I was a single dad for 5 years, raising 2 kids. I had a lot of help, though.
$14,000 a year per child. It's like, yeah, that very well may be accurate, but once you do the math, like $15 an hour plus another $15 an hour in taxes, work comp, liability insurance, health insurance, life insurance, unemployment insurance, payroll taxes, Social Security, Medicare taxes. So $30 an hour minimum wage, or $30 an hour cost for a $15 an hour minimum wage, times 40 hours a week. Or if the parent's working 40 hours, and the child care worker is probably working more like 45 hours to 50 hours. So $30 an hour times 50 hours a week times 52 weeks. If they work every week of the year, or at least 50 weeks, maybe they get some time off or something for like Christmas and New Year's. But That's up to be a lot more than $14,000. And then on top of that, these child care providers are paying for lunches, meals, toys for the kids to play with, the building, income tax. It adds up. It really adds up. So Smith's mom didn't do it to make money. She just kind of done it so she can be at home when Joe Smith here and his sister got home from school. So we didn't have to go to some other child care place and get brainwashed and taught the wrong BS. So she could be home and teach us when we got home from school. And probably so she can write our toys off on taxes too, but we won't talk about that.
I had a mom, a dad, a brother, and a sister that really helped. But middle class and working folks shouldn't have to pay more than 7% of their income to care for the young children. My plan would cut the...
And if you do have to pay more than 7% of your income to care for your children, then maybe you need to go find a better job before you have children.
cost of child care in half for most families. And help parents, including nobody earning less than $400,000 a year, will pay an additional penny in new taxes. Not a single penny.
No one under making less than $400,000 will pay another penny in taxes. So does that go for like CEOs and that make less than $400,000, or business owners make less than $400,000, or no, $400,000 is awfully damn lot. But, you know, maybe not for Joe Biden because he grew up a millionaire, so that's probably like sofa change for him. But yeah, here's the thing: he wants to raise taxes on businesses, so businesses are going to have to increase their prices, which means customers are going to pay higher prices. So, you know, yeah, people making less than $400,000 a year are going to pay higher taxes via higher prices to the businesses, because those higher taxes businesses have to pay are going to get added to the price of goods and services and passed along to the consumer. That's how commerce works.
I may be wrong, but my guess is that we took a secret ballot in this floor, that we'd all agree that the present tax system ain't fair. We have to fix it. I'm not looking to punish anybody.
Yeah, it's not fair because people that work harder to get ahead in life pay more taxes. You know, why don't we have it to where everyone just pays the same exact dollar amount per year in taxes, no matter how much they make? That would be fair. Everyone pays equal amount of taxes, equal dollar amount of taxes, no matter how much you make. Instead of punishing hardworking Americans who go out and try to do better and make more money and go to college, invest in businesses, invest in college so they can make more money, so they can live a better life, just so they could pay higher taxes than someone that sits at home and smokes weed all day long and plays video game in their mom's basement. So yeah, let's quit punishing hardworking Americans and make it equal, where everyone just pays equal dollar amount no matter how much they make.
Well, let's make corporations and wealthy Americans start paying their fair share. Look.
Oh yes, let's make corporations and wealthy Americans start paying their fair share. And then the camera turns to Elizabeth Warren, who pays a lot less in taxes than Elon Musk does. You know, maybe you've heard about this little squabble between Elon Musk and Elizabeth Warren. Elon Musk probably pays more taxes than anyone else in America and probably pays more taxes than everyone in Congress combined. And a hell lot more taxes than Elizabeth Warren here. So yeah, let's start making wealthy Americans like Elizabeth Warren here pay more taxes. Let's have her subsidize pharmaceuticals and college and healthcare and child care. With all her money, let's have Nancy Pelosi pay higher taxes to subsidize all that stuff for poor people. That'd be fair.
Last year, like Chris Coons and Tom Carper and my distinguished Congresswoman, we come from the land of corporate America. There are more corporations incorporated in America than every other state in America combined.
Oh, by the way, Mr. President Joe Biden, how much taxes did you and Joe Biden pay on your book sales? Yeah, you guys might want to look into that. Thanks for watching. It's Joe Smith, signing out.